Hey, let's shut that nonsense down. It is 5 o'clock, and you contacted, you tuned in. This is by your choice. It's not forced on you. Not yet. This is Murder Table Monday, and we're doing something. We're doing something a little bit different. We're gonna try something a little bit different. Last night, Natural Bridges Puppets, they had a podcast, and I asked them how they go about doing that, and they explained it to me. It's very simple process. So I'm going to turn Murder Table Monday after this show. I'll take what we recorded, and I will load it on YouTube as a podcast, and it's very simple to do. And I'm going to leave people's last names out, just because it's the right thing to do. But hey, I want to welcome Gary and Vince and Terry and Sue and Thomas and Papa Bear, and we're just going to roll with it. We're going to see what happens with that whole podcasty thing. Because it's simple, I'm going to try it. If it turns into too much work, I'll probably scrap the whole thing. But hey, Ralph, welcome to Murder Table Monday. So since this will be our first podcast episode, maybe I ought to explain the title again. And when if and when you would go on YouTube to listen to the podcast, you won't have a picture. You won't see my face because I have a face made for radio. But anyhow, what is Murder Table Monday? Well, my wife works retail at local outlets, and the store she was at had a card table in the break room. Hi, Amanda. And the card table was for employees to, be able to put their lunch down on the table and eat it. Well, the fire marshal came in, and he didn't much like that table. So the table had to go. It was blocking the exit. And once the table was folded up, it's a card table, it's a regular card table, there was a nasty brown liquidy stain on the bottom of it, bottom of the table. And the employees there joked that somebody was actually murdered on the table, and thus the name Murder Table. Well, knowing I'm sort of a pack rat, and I'm not above taking other people's garbage if I can use it. My wife brought the table home, and our first couple of episodes of Murder Table Monday took place at the table. Now, I'm not in my subterranean laboratory today. I got a little, hey Jerry, I got a I'm a little lazy. It's just I don't know. I didn't feel like hauling everything downstairs. But I did bring up the trivia cards in case Halloween Jack isn't available. So, Jerry, welcome to Murder Table Monday. The fire marshal's nightmare. I've worked with some, yeah. Jerry mentioned about fire marshals, and I have to agree with him. I've worked with a lot of people who are in public service. Police officers and firefighters, and I think the firefighters and would probably agree that fire marshals, sometimes that silvery little tin badge, and there are some police officers also, where that badge just it's a power trip, and it's horrible when that happens, because there are good, and there are bad, and not to mention the ugly. So yeah, it's not. Thank you. Temporal says, I'm not being lazy, I'm just being efficient. I like the downstairs setting because it's something to see. But since this is also going to be a podcast, those people won't be disappointed that they're seeing nothing. The show normally lasts a half an hour. Just a little bit longer than it takes for me to finish my coffee. And it's my last coffee of the day. So that's the show. We chit chat. I check in. Raven says, "Hey, what's up, Doc?" And Doc says, "Everything's going really good today." Fire Marshal Bill. Thank you, Ralph. Fire Marshal Bill. Hi, Abby. And Terry's in the house too. Hey, Heather. But so we're gonna try that. We're gonna try seeing what that podcasty thing looks like. The show lasts a half an hour, sometimes just a little bit over. And if anybody tuned in like 5 minutes early, there was this crazy kazoo rendition of The Entertainer, and then afterwards a kazoo rendition from the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I don't know what it is about kazoos, but I like it. And it probably is because it's the only instrument that I ever really learned to play. Remember, I got my first kazoo at a flea market. My dad sprung for it. It was a plastic thing with a little wax paper thingy in it, but just had a lot of fun with that kazoo. And so I like kazoo music. Hey, Christopher. Christopher's in the house, also known as the Professor. You can check him. He has a show. He really encourages you to go to YouTube and follow him on YouTube because, as my good friend Halloween Jack said, Facebook is just kind of like a cesspool sometimes, and everybody's so mean. Everybody has to be right all the time. So Gary has a Dr. Demento kazoo. Was it signed? Can you sign kazoos? Actually, I bought 2 kazoos on Temu. They were inexpensive, but they were described as professional. So I have a couple professional kazoos. Now I got to give credit where credit is due. Those 2 renditions on the kazoo at the start of the show, it wasn't me. And the Entertainer, I got into my editing program, added some sound effects, and increased the speed to about 1.5 to make it a little bit more fun. Not signed, but his name is on it. Well, that's cool, Gary. Gary is like an avid collector, and he has some stuff that, man, if I told you what he had, people would be waiting for him to leave the house and lining up outside his door. And I'm not going to tell you where he lives, but I will say it's not Arizona. And just leave you figure the rest out. Jerry likes kazoos also. Kazoos are cool. They're nerdy cool, I think. I think they're, it's this nerd kind of thing for me. I don't know. And hey, Lynn. Lynn is in the house. And he says he's sorry he missed. Oh, if he missed anybody. Yeah, I don't know, there's a slew of people in here. 14, which is cool. How many is a slew? Any idea how many a slew is? I don't know. Yeah, so here in southeastern PA, we had this weird weather event that rolled through, and it was 3 days of shoveling. It was just stupid. We had about 2 inches of wet snow. It was kind of not real wet. It was, but sticky. It was a sticky snow, and it wasn't really enough for me to pull out the snowblower and start it up. It didn't seem like it. And, afterthought, I probably should have, but I shoveled. We have a little bit of a driveway and some parking spaces behind our house. And then 24 hours later, we had another 2 inches of snow. So day 2, I go out. I start up the snowblower this time, and it worked wonderfully. Thank you, Dakota. And a slew is 14.44444444. So that according to Ralph. Yeah, so I used the snowblower the second day, and then last night, all the way up until 8 o'clock, we had this. They were calling for sleep, but when I went outside and let the dog out last night at 11, it was fine and powdery, which is probably a really good thing. So 5:30 this morning, because we had people coming to the house in the morning at 7 o'clock. So 5:30 in the morning, I got up and got out there and got to shoveling, which was just really pushing the snow around. But I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, welcome. Hope your Monday was doing well. Terry says we need to start official Bash Kazoo band. And for those in the know, the Bash, which is probably mentioned at least once every Murder Table Monday, is a convention in Pittsburgh. It's Monster Bash Convention. They hold the actual convention twice, right outside of Pittsburgh. Some people call it Mars. Some people call it Cranberry, but it's there. And a lot of the people who are watching, listening to Murder Table Monday are regulars at the Bash, and we've become family. And Terry's my sister, and it's good to have her here. A slew is a whole bunch, says Jerry, without me beeping out the S word. It's a whole shitload. It's a lot. Sue says that they use they cranked up the old snowblower for the snow event. My neighbor, who's 80, and I tend to shovel her out also. I was beaten by the time I was done with our stuff, and I haven't got over there yet. And I'm hoping for a thaw. But she goes. She's 80 years old. You see her garage door open every morning at 9 o'clock. She gets in her four-wheel drive vehicle, and off she goes, and then she comes back around noon. But I didn't get over there yet. And I feel sort of, I feel like a bum, really. I should get over there. I should be doing that right now. Wait, who's operating that triangle? Terry? Oh no, Raven's bringing the triangle. Okay, Raven's bringing the triangle to our kazoo band, and right now all we need is more cowbell. Amanda says it's cold in Ohio. Speaking of Ohio, and mentioning Ohio, there's a convention coming up in Ohio, first weekend in February, I should say, February 7th. And it's one day only. It's a Saturday, February 7th. It is the Acronomicon. Acra, like in Akron, Ohio. And they have a bunch of, I don't want to call them main list celebrities. Like, you won't see Mark Hamill there charging $300 for his signature. And the Shatner will not be there charging however much he charges for a glimpse of him. But there are going to be a bunch of celebrities and artists, and a few horror hosts are going to be there as guests. Book writing people, people who write books, authors, and a few horror hosts. The Midnight Movie Crew have a table. And so, I know, Jerry, I'm a bum. I should be over there with a shovel. I'm at least going to clear out the area around her mailbox, because she goes to the mailbox every day. And God forbid anything happened to her, that would weigh on my conscience for the rest of my life. Thomas says Shatner is at least $200, and you're not allowed to talk to him. One day I will have that'll be me. I'll just show up and people will give me $200 just to stand next to me. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. That's like bank robbery. But anyhow, yeah, Akron, Ohio, February 7th. It's a little one-day event. It's a Saturday. And yes, Amanda, I am going there. I'm going. I'm not a guest. They didn't reach out to me and offer to pay me airfare. But I will drive the 5.5/6 hours to get there, because I really want to hang out with my friends from the Midnight Movie Crew, and from Transylvania tonight, Drac and Karita. And I think Gary said he's going to be there, which is awesome. He's flying in all the way from not Arizona. Gary does not live in Arizona. And Ralph says that he's going to give me $200 just to stand next to me. I don't want a signature. I can't. Yeah, seriously. Thomas says that if he can't ask him about Kingdom of the Spiders, he doesn't want to even see him. Amanda says, that's great that I'm going to Ohio. Amanda, are you coming out to Acronomicon? It's a one-day event. And I forget the name of the place they hold it. But if you look up Acronomicon and Google it, you'll find it. Jerry got a Shatner for $50 and he cracked jokes. That's cool. Celebrity stories, when you meet a celebrity and they live up to your expectations, that's always awesome. I have a couple of celebrity stories. My favorite was George the Animal Steele. Nobody was at his table. It was a horror convention. It was Monster Bash. There we go. That's the third time I've said it. It was Monster Bash. And hey, Amanda is going out to the Acronomicon, so I'll see you there, Amanda. But I talked to him with nobody standing behind me, and we just conversed, and it was really cool. And I'm not a big wrestling fan. I mean, I watched a bunch of it when my dad watched it on Saturdays, and it came on after Dr. Shock. So because I was raised by the television set and the TV was on, I was in front of it. So he was one of my favorite wrestlers because he was insane with the green tongue. And hey, Anthony, welcome to Murder Table Monday. Good to have you here. But yeah, George the Animal. And we talked for, 20 minutes, half an hour. And very, just personable, friendly guy. And it was a really good experience. Ralph says that he jacked up his life horribly this year. We'll see. I guess he's talking about Monster Bash. You know what, Ralph? Everybody, all of us, have at some point done some real bonehead things. And the idea is to learn from it and move on. Hey, Josh, welcome. I hope one day to get down there that area, I guess Virginia, and I would love to hop in and see, go down and visit Halloween Jack and anybody, the Virginia crew. Now Jerry's in West Virginia now, I think, right? He was in Virginia. George the Animal Steel was a high school teacher, and he was a football coach. And he told us, me and my wife, because we were standing there. It was funny. I was dressed in my normal con attire, black T-shirt with some classic Universal monster on my chest, and my wife was wearing a flowery print, kind of like a summer dress, and she had a white sweater on over top of it, and she stood out because it was a sea of black T-shirts. And George looked over at her and he goes, "He made you come, George." Not his real name, by the way, but he said, "He made you come to this, didn't he?" But he told us a story about his high school coaching. He was introduced to professional wrestling through a friend, and they went to go see a promoter, and the promoter said, "Take off your shirt." So George took off his shirt, and he goes, "What a fantastic pelt!" And they built the character, and hairy guy, and all the wrestlers would hop on a bus, and they would go over the state line to wrestle. And something happened in the 80s, whether it was Cyndi Lauper, WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan, I don't know what it was, but it exploded. And professional wrestling, the WWF, World Wrestling Federation, became a huge deal. And there were magazines in the newsstands. And, well, one day, George, being the coach of the football team, he was at their practice, and one of the students walked up to him and said, "Hey, this is you." And he was like, nah, that ain't me. And he played it off. He said, "That guy's too good looking. That ain't me." And, "Hey, HJ, welcome." Like the next week at football practice, the whole team colored their tongues green. And when he had them line up, everybody stuck their tongue out. And he knew at that point that he had been had, that they figured it out. They knew his secret identity. And I don't know, it was just really fun working with him. Talking to him. Halloween Jack says he worked for WWE and ECW for a while. Ton of indie promotions. I would love to hear those stories someday. That'd be interesting. Oh, Ralph, yes, WWF was crazy in the 80s. And, all those classic characters, Captain Lou Albano and, Classy Fred Glassy and the Mouth from the South and the Hitman. HJ says, "I have to leave, but I hope you are all doing well and love you all." Hey, we love you too, HJ. And while I'm thinking of it, Mrs. Dredd, before she left, she has a part-time job. The Iron Sheik, he was the real deal. Mrs. Dredd said to say hi to everybody. So, hi, everybody. And, here we go. Jerry had Nikolai Volkov on his TV show, and he was a cool guy. Ralph says, even us girls watch. Oh, no, wait a minute. Heather says, us girls watched also. Rowdy Roddy and Jake the Snake. Rowdy Roddy Piper was one of my favorites. Most of that was in the 80s. Now, back when I was a young whippersnapper, I think my favorites were I like Chief J Strongbow, because my grandfather liked Chief J Strongbow. And, Sergeant Slaughter. Gary met Sergeant Slaughter? No way. Hi, Laura. Laura says, tell Mrs. Dredd, she said, I will. I'll let her know. Also, Heather. Hey, Ryan. Wow, it's getting crowded in here. Just a reminder that I'm going to be trying something. I'm going to be loading this video up. Once I'll download it from Facebook. Load it up on YouTube as a podcast. So we're going to try the whole podcast thing. And so I'll throw out a couple endorsements toward the end. Maybe it'll get people a couple people will subscribe or enlighten them to entertainment they're not aware of. Thank you. Laura says she has to go. Have a great night. Thank you for stopping by, Laura. Laura, it's kind of like she's like my daughter, really. Good kid, that Laura. Not a kid anymore, but still, she'll always be a kid to me. Hey, Joe. We have celebrities in the house. I'll point that out. We have a couple of horror hosts, and we have a movie director. We have a famous poet. It's amazing. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. A couple of chefs. But, hey, it's almost time. It is 5:23, and one of the things we do here at Murder Table Monday is we like to end the show with some trivia. Jerry, I would love sometime. You and I should talk. Jerry's met a lot of people, and a lot of people who I remember from back in the day. So I bet that would be a really cool conversation. Jerry could tell some stories. I bet HJ has some stories too. Dick the Bruiser. I don't know Dick the Bruiser. Raven, was he more of an Ohio thing? Now, Gorilla Monsoon, I knew. When one time, my dad took us to the Hamburg Fieldhouse, which was where they filmed a lot of wrestling events, and it was about an hour drive, I guess, away from us. And it was funny. It was me, my dad, my brother, and my grandfather. And my grandfather, he was like a traveling preacher man. And he would be a guest speaker at tent revivals. And he liked this wrestling stuff. He thought he was sold. It was the real deal. These are two guys enter, right? He thought it was, well, anyhow, his favorite was Chief J. Strongbow. That was his favorite. That's probably why he was sort of one of my favorites. But we're up in the peanut gallery at the Hamburg Fieldhouse, and I'm sitting next to my grandfather, and then it's my little brother, and then my dad. So we're sandwiched between the two adults so they can keep an eye on us so we don't get away. But my grandfather's sitting there, and he's like fighting, just fight. He's airboxing because he's so caught up in it. And there was an older gentleman sitting on the other side of my grandfather, and my grandfather kept on elbowing him, not intentionally, but it was because he was throwing fists at the air, and it was funny. Every time he elbowed this older guy, he would apologize, and I thought it was funny. It was one of the funniest grandfather stories with that grandfather. You attract a cool crowd. I'm privileged to participate. Well, thank you, Ralph. Jerry's a comedian. Jerry says he's a comedian, and that's probably why he's so good at telling stories. So here we go. We're going to start. It's 5:26, and my coffee is finished, and it's no longer as warm as it should be. Yeah. Okay. We are taking trivia questions from the horror trivia game. It's a trivia game of Twisted Terror. So I'm just going by what they have printed on the card. If the card's wrong, then I'm wrong. But here we go. Okay, limber up those typing fingers, my friends. Limber them up. No real prize, but the winner, whoever answers first, gets. We'll give you a gold star. What 1990 film featuring Lou Diamond Phillips has his character trying to bring the Pentagram Killer to justice? The Pentagram Killer. 1990. Raven says his pop used to attend local events and chase a certain manager around the ring. That's funny. Ralph fell asleep on a lady once as he rolled. That get you in trouble at the Jack Hanna live show. You don't want to fall asleep on top of a lady. Brownie points are always good. Gold stars and brownie points. And we're waiting for the correct answer. Wait a minute, there's an answer. Thomas says the seventh power, and it's close. He's off by one word in Sue. Sue. My high school friend there. Sue got the right answer. Gold star and brownie points for Sue. The first power. First power was called. Lou Diamond, I think, was always. Amanda knows the film, but she couldn't think of the answer. Yeah. Lou Diamond, I think, is underrated. I don't know. I think he probably missed a chance somewhere. Ralph remembers the commercial for it. Lou Diamond was in a bunch of those like USA movies too, made for TV. Yeah, 1990. Jerry says 1990. Okay, here we go. Next question. 528. He was the La Bamba guy. Yes, Ralph. And I guess that was probably his biggest movie, right? I'm thinking, I'll have to look him up. You know, I love the app, the Internet Movie Database app. So much. As a movie guy, I just learned so much on that. Thomas says they met Lou Diamond a few years ago at a con. Was he cool? Was he a really cool guy? Could you talk to him? Oh, Young Guns. I forgot he was in Young Guns. Thomas, I don't know. He seems kind of okay. Now, here's my bad experience with the celebrity. And somebody just posted a picture of Neil Adams for Batman Day because Batman Day was last week. It was the first Batman show, for the TV show that aired. The anniversary of Batman '66 aired last week on Monday. Somebody posted a picture of Neil Adams, and he was a famous comic book artist. Well, I met him at a comic book show, and maybe he was having a bad day. And maybe he was just a real jackass. But either way, I met him. I was not impressed. He was arrogant and rude and to several people. And the comic book artists that were around him at like the next table and stuff, they took note of it too. So I don't know. It's sad. It's sad when you meet a celebrity and they don't meet your expectations. Thomas says that Lou Diamond was real cool, but he hugged my wife a bit longer than I liked. I've got a story about one of those guys too. Conrad Brooks. My Plan 9 from Outer Space people will know who that is. He got a little handsy with my wife. Just, I didn't like that. Oh, well, what do you do? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Terry. I did not play Batman today. Terry is a fantastic seamstress. And before I give this next question, she sent me a little, it's a Batman cloth Batman bag, because last week's show was all about Batman, and it was so sweet of her. And thank you, Terry. That's what Conrad was nuts. Yes, Jerry Conrad's crazy. Okay, here we go. Second question. And I'm going to sign off because I went just over my half-hour mark. What actress plays the main character, Susie Bannion, in the 2018 Suspiria remake? Ugh. Remakes. Yeah. Oh, really? I flipped the card over. I checked the answer out because I didn't know. I have not seen the remake of Suspiria. I've seen the original years ago. It's a girls' school where they teach you how to dance and possible witchcraft and murder going on at the school. Amanda does not know. Thomas has heard horror stories about Conrad Brooks. Yeah, you probably have. The time that I met him, we rode in the elevator together, and he was really funny. He was up there in age. He was a lot older. It may have even been his last convention. But he was like, you know who I am? You know who I am? Yeah, I know who you are. He goes, I'm Conrad Brooks. And if you went to his table, you were almost forced to buy something because he would sell stuff. He would try and sell stuff. Okay, after our cinema is in, he says, hi guys. The original was so good. Cinematic masterpiece, OMG. That's from Abby with Suspiria. I'm getting behind in my comments. Raps says, holy smokes, no clue. And Susan got it right again. I think Susan was the first one. Dakota Johnson. Excuse me. Lynn is saying hello to After Hours. Yeah, Gary says he was a regular Bash. So, hey, this is Dr. Ed. I'm gonna throw some Monster Channel. Watch the Monster Channel. www.themonsterchannel.com. Also, while you're scrolling around, doom scrolling, if you will, check out Madhouse Monster Madhouse, Jerry, and check out his show. I'm not sure where you can find it right now, but he's out there. And I want to throw a shout out to WWON48, which is an internet station. It's a lot like the old UHF channels. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of horror hosts. Check that out. So, thank you all for coming by. We're going to turn this into a podcast and see what happens. And I really appreciate it. You guys make my Mondays worthwhile. Your friend, Doc Dread. I am looking for that button that's going to end it all. Well, end the broadcast, not not the other thing. Okay, end live video. There it is. Okay, thank you, Abby. It's good to have you here. And there you go. Well, it's scrolling. MonsterMadhouse.com. Check it out. Find it. Leave them a comment. Spread the word. Talk to you all later. Good night, Gary. Good night, Heather. Ending live video now.